Hello, and welcome to today's Real Talk Chat. So happy to have you here. So, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Tanya. I am the founder of yogabytanya.com. Just before we get started, or rather, maybe I should just say this talk today is just a behind the scenes chat about what my online membership looks like, what online yoga looks like. So, welcome. This is my studio. This is my home studio space that you see. I have my logo on the wall, I have some plants in the corner, have a Dharma wheel and a foam block in the other corner. I have a platform that my husband made with my yoga mat on it. And I just want to say that if your hips or lower back have been feeling achy or tight and you are wanting real support, staying consistent with your yoga practice, my monthly online yoga classes are open, and I'll link them below. So with that being said, what does online yoga look like? If you go to that link, you can see what I offer. The process for registering is pretty easy. And if you don't want to do that, here on YouTube, I have just smaller videos and a few full length videos that are from actual classes that I taught on my membership here in my video YouTube class library. So what that will look like is generally I have quite a selection of sequences I've already developed over the years. Many times I just pull one and maybe go from that, or sometimes if I know students want to work on a certain thing, I create new ones. I've been practicing long enough that I can just kind of, I don't know, pick and choose it and have an idea of where we're going and pivot as I move through class with whatever student or participants are in front of me. I also like to make sure that I am hitting the 6 directions of the spine. Um, so I do that at the beginning of class, during warm up, and during the middle of class and at the end. I'm always trying to get into the 6 directions of the spine. That way you can leave class feeling like you um, are balanced. So if you ever left a yoga class and you are just feeling like maybe something's off or something doesn't feel quite right in your body, generally in my experience, the instructor or teacher overly focused on just one direction of the spine. So maybe they were doing a class of twists, and so they over focused on twists without adding enough side bends. Probably they added a lot of forward folds and back bends, but they just didn't get enough side bends in. And that can contribute to that feeling of like, that class just, it fell off. Um, so what I use in my classes, one of my favorite things is the block. I like to use a yoga block a lot. And using props doesn't mean um, it's not a signal of weakness, really. It's just a good way to add more additional support, add a little bit more ability to go deeper into our poses and build a stronger yoga practice, in my opinion. Another prop I will use a lot is a strap. If you don't have a strap for your home practice, no worries. You can always just use a belt or a scarf or even a towel will work. But I really like to use the strap. Um, can really help not only in passive stretch, but active stretching. Um, Another thing sometimes I'll use is massage balls or foam roller, which I have here in the corner. Um, if you don't have a massage ball, you can always just grab a tennis ball. A tennis ball will work really well. And I have a whole bag here that I take to some of my in-person classes, but a tennis ball will work too. The difference between a tennis ball and a massage ball is just that the tennis ball is a little bit harder and the massage ball has more give to it. I like to use that for fascia release. Oh, let's see. Oh, a blanket. Sometimes we do use our blanket. I also encourage people to have a blanket on hand. It can work well in place of a block if you roll it up. It can also be helpful in Shavasana if you get a rest pose at the end of class, if you get a little bit cool or chilled. Um, Lots of great ways to use a blanket. Another thing that we'll use sometimes in our online classes is a bolster. If you don't have a bolster at home, oftentimes a pillow or even your blanket works well. Yeah, a blanket. Sometimes you can use a blanket and a bolster together. Also, I just want to point out my bolster is a thin bolster. You can also get thicker bolsters or more rounded bolsters, and I definitely encourage you to look around, play with that, and decide what works best for you and your body. So finally, I have a candle here, and I like to use a candle for meditations. Sometimes I do include a candle in my classes, start class with a lit candle, just to give your eyes a focus to gaze at the candle during meditation is a great meditation practice. Very helpful. Oftentimes my students very much like to do that. I like to do that. And well, I think that's it as far as some of the behind the scenes here of the props and the way I develop my classes. If you are interested again, please just go to my website. And if you enjoy practicing with me during or on this with my online library here on YouTube, you can come join me for online membership, which is very affordable. And we practice together live every week, and you get replays when life gets busy. So thank you for joining me for this real chat. I actually do have to go teach a class now. And I hope you found this information useful and got a little bit of the behind the scenes of my in-home studio. Have a wonderful rest of your day.